So, you finally decided to get into watercolors. Picking up a brush for the first time, dipping it in water, activating your colors, and then staring onto a blank page, feeling unsure what to do. Does that sound like you? If yes, then this video is for you. Now believe it or not, you only need 4 things to do watercolor. First is obviously watercolor, then water, brushes, and the good old number 2 pencil. Now, there are fancy palettes, expensive brushes that cost more than an entire paint set, but you're not here to impress anyone, you're here to learn, so throw them away. In fact, any student level pen will do. It might not flow like honey, but it will teach you the basics. Now, water. Remember, it isn't only for cleaning. If you add a small amount of water into your watercolor pans, then your watercolor is going to be opaque. And if you increase the amount of water, then your watercolors are going to be transparent. 2 cups are ideal. 1 for mixing and 1 for cleaning. But 1 can work too. Now, I own about 10 brushes, but these are the only ones I use. And my most used brush actually came with the watercolor set. It holds water. It holds paint. It held its point through the years. Overall, 10 out of 10 would fight a dragon for it. The others, well, I like to know that they exist. Now, the OG number 2 pencil. You can use any HB pencil that you like. I use HB pencils because they are light enough to paint over, but dark enough to guide my shapes. And there is one more bonus item that I would like to show you. Now, after the sketch, I like to go over it with inks. Now normally I would recommend brush pens, but ballpoint pens work just fine. Alright, well, the cinematic section is over because, well, it's just not possible for me to show you every single painting step with cinematics, and it is going to take a lot of time, and I actually have to get this video up in some time. So we are just going to cover the basics. Non-cinematic, let's go. So step 1, and you should always keep this in mind while working with watercolors. Always work light to dark, because you can go light to dark, but you cannot go from dark to light. And as you can see in the video, I am kind of previewing my colors in the top right corner, because you don't want to use a color that will not look good on your painting. And you have to admit the paper will warp a bit and you will make mistakes in the first few portraits, but you just have to persist and the end result will be worth it. So currently I am painting a portrait of my friend, and he has a bit of a darker skin tone, so I'm going in with my browns, with my oranges, and here for his eyes I used black with water. As I said in the last part of the video, that if you add waters to your watercolors, they will become lighter and like transparent. So yeah, that's what I did. I kinda messed up, but it's alright. Then you go in with your layers, and always remember this while working with watercolors: layers are everything. Just improve your layering techniques and your watercolors will improve like 10 times. Now you can see that I'm building up his skin tones layer by layer, and it's coming together quite well. And now it's probably a good time to mention that there are 2 techniques in watercolors that people use. One is wet on wet and another is wet on dry. Wet on wet is when you wet the paper first and then apply watercolors, and the one I'm doing here right now is wet and dry, where you use wet watercolors on dry paper. So now you can see that the paper is warping a bit, and I'm trying to unwarp it so that it looks good on camera like it does in person. And here you can see why I chose to do the inks first. I'm sorry for my hair, I know I kept getting in between, but when you're doing details, you just have to get in there and hang in there for a while till you get the details just right. And I would also recommend that you put a plastic or some other paper underneath your paper that you're painting, so the water does not ruin the paper below. I forgot to do that, and well, you can see what happened to the paper in the back. Now I'm going with the more darker colors, adding little water to my watercolors and just popping up the highlights a bit using white and using some middle tones or dark tones a bit. Okay, to sum up everything I said, you paint in layers. There are two techniques, wet on wet and wet on dry. You can use sunlight or any heating device you have to speed up the drying process on wet on dry. But in this case, I'm just waiting and building up my layers. Okay, I think I've told everything you guys need to know. So I'm just gonna speed up the video so you can see my painting process. Okay, so as you can see, I just drew two arrows that are representing where the light is coming from. And now let me tell you a technique that will emphasize your painting quite a lot. So first of all, just going with your inks wherever like the watercolor has gone over a bit too much, and just re-ink those areas. Next, you're gonna do the background, and like this is a stylistic choice. This is completely optional. I like to do it because it makes the character stand out from the white background and give it a bit of pop. So yeah, that's why I like to do backgrounds. If you choose not to, that's totally fine. It will look good regardless. Okay, so here's the trick. First of all, get your inks, ballpoint pen, and make your outlines a bit thicker than usual. Okay, so now you go in with your correction pen, or if you have a white gel pen, that's even better, and just do an outline around your original painting's outline. And here is the final result. I know the painting part was quite sped up, but you know, I have to get this video up somehow, and this was the only way I saw how. So the camera doesn't actually do justice to how good this piece came out, and I hope you like the video and dislike the video if you want. Make sure to tell me in the comments what you disliked, what you liked. If you have any questions, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.